You're listening to the weekly Parsha Podcast with Ari Goldwag, recorded with Hashem's never-ending assistance in Ramah B'Shem Israel, 5785, 2025. This week's Parsha is Parsha Shmini, and I'd like to share with you something that we wouldn't think is connected, and the way the Medrash understands it, it is connected. The very end of chapter 10, the very beginning of chapter 11 of Vayikra. There's an interesting little vignette. We're talking, it's Parsha Shmini, it's the 8th day of the Miluim, of the erection of the tabernacle, of the Beis HaMikdash, of the temple. And on that day, so we know, sadly, there was a sad occasion and there was a happy occasion. The sad occasion was that the two sons of Aharon, Nadav and Avihu, died. It was a happy occasion. It was the dedication, the final standing up of the Mishkan in such a way that it would stay standing. The previous 7 days it had gone up and gone down. And in the process, there was a death. The death of these two sons of Aharon. And Aharon and his two remaining sons, Elazar and Itamar, they continued to do the service of that first day. Despite the fact that ordinarily, a person who's an oinen, a person who someone has passed away for them, not allowed to perform the service in the Beis HaMikdash, in the tabernacle, but it was necessary, of course, and here they were permitted to do it. But the Psukim tell us something very interesting, and it's a little bit opaque, so listen carefully here, because we're going to get something very, very important for us to understand and know and contemplate. The Pasuk says, "Ve'isira chatas darash Moshe b'nei Seiraf." There is a particular korban, a sacrifice that was brought, and it was burned. Instead of being eaten, it was burned. Sacrifice was supposed to be eaten, or that's what Moshe Rabbeinu thought. And he saw that instead of it being eaten, as it was in his mind supposed to be done, it was burned. Vayiktzayif al Elazar and Itamar b'nei Aharon hanasarm lemor. And Moshe Rabbeinu got angry at his nephews, at Elazar and Itamar, who were the priests, and they were the ones who he thought had actually done the burning. Why didn't you eat it in the place where it's supposed to be eaten? It's the Holy of Holies. It was given to you in order to carry the sins of everyone else, in order to atone for them. You did something that will prevent atonement for Am Yisrael, which is serious, because the Kohanim have a certain achrayus, they have a responsibility towards their brothers. When they're bringing the karbanos, they're serving on their behalf. When they stand up and they give blessings to Am Yisrael, so they are serving as a conduit for Hashem's blessings to come upon the Jewish people. So he felt that they shirked their responsibility in not doing things properly, allowing it to be burned instead of being eaten. He says to them, did you not bring the blood in? You're supposed to eat it, as I was commanded. Now they didn't answer anything, interestingly. Elazar and Itamar did not answer. Aharon responds and says, Aharon took responsibility for what seemed to be the mistake, but he pointed out that it wasn't really a mistake, it was actually correct. Since they were Oinen, and it was upon him, Aharon was the one who had done this, not the son, not his sons. He was the high priest. So, he's the one who did it. Would it be correct for him to eat it? Aharon said it in such a respectful way. Would it be Hayitav b'nei Hashem? Is this something that Hashem would want? Would it be good in God's eyes? Such a beautiful way of expressing. Is this the will of Hashem? Is this correct for it to be done this way? And Moshe heard it. Moshe heard what Aharon said, and he realized that Aharon was correct. They weren't supposed to eat it. It was supposed to be burned. And it was correct in his eyes. He saw that what Aharon said in response was right. Okay, so we're going to have to dissect a little bit what went on here, try to understand it better. But for brevity's sake, for the moment, Moshe thought his nephews had done something wrong. Aharon was the one who did it. Aharon said it was correct what I did, and Moshe agreed. And interestingly, it's worth pointing out, we'll see at the end of the Medrash what's the pshat, but Vayishma Moshe Rabbeinu hears it. Vayita be'einav, and it was correct in his eyes. It says he hears it and it's correct in his eyes. He likes it. Why does it have to say he hears it and it's correct? Just say it's correct. He's like, you're right. Why does he have to say that he heard it? We'll see what the extra words in the pasuk teach us. Now, immediately after that, it seems to be a completely unrelated topic. Vayidaber Hashem al Moshe vel Aharon lemor aleim. Hashem spoke to Moshe and to Aharon and said to them, to be said to them, lemor aleihem. Rashi tells us, and it's the Medrash we're going to see, Amar sheyomer Elazar and Itamar. It was specifically to his sons. They also merited this revelation. The revelation that's going to continue here, and we'll see why. And that's to do with the previous story. That's why they're connected. There's a revelation here, a specific command from Hashem that has to do with which animals are kosher and which animals are unkosher, which is worth contemplating. What is the connection between the first story and the second story? I don't know if I'm going to get into that particular point so much. But there was a revelation that was specific for Moshe and Aharon and his sons. And it's also going to be given to the rest of the children of Israel. Pasuk Beis, Dabru b'nei Yisrael more. This is the animals that you're allowed to eat. But we'll see in the Medrash, what was it here that earned, what happened within this story with Elazar and Itamar, that Moshe Rabbeinu accused them of having done something wrong? They didn't respond. That's the hint. They didn't respond. Aharon responded. How does that serve to give them this merit of having the revelation, a direct communication from Hashem about which animals are permitted to be eaten and which are not? So let's study together the Medrash. With that introduction, we'll hopefully be able to understand it well. Our pasuk, which we just read, says, as an introduction to what's permitted to eat, what's not permitted to eat, Hashem speaks to Moshe and Aharon to say to them, to Elazar and Itamar. Rav Pinchas Rabbi Yirmiyah Posach, Oizen Shemas Techachas Chaim. Pasuk says in Mishlei, as the Medrash often does, it brings a pasuk in Mishlei that's going to teach us something about what we're studying in the psukim in the parsha. Pasuk says in Mishlei, Oizen Shemas Techachas Chaim. The ear that listens can hear the teichacha, the musar, the rebuke, the direction of life. What's this ear that hears the teichacha, the direction, the spiritual direction of life? It's the sons of Aharon. So the sons of Aharon, they didn't respond when Moshe Rabbeinu spoke and said that they had done something wrong. They didn't say anything. They just listened. The Kerem Chachamim Talin, in the midst, the continuation of this pasuk in Mishlei, in Proverbs is, in the midst of the wise people it rests. Shehayu b'tzara misa. They had just experienced, right, what's the resting here that we're speaking of? The resting of death. They had just experienced their brothers passed away. They were, so to speak, resting in their resting place. They merited that they, Elazar and Itamar, who remained, and their uncle and their father all had a revelation of Hashem directed at them. And we know this because the pasuk tells us that Moshe Rabbeinu darash, he sought, he wanted to understand what happened here. Why was the meat not eaten? Why was it burned? Ma'u darash. The word for seeking, he sought to understand what happened. It says it doubly. It says that he sought. It means that he really sought after it. Why does it say it doubly? Amar lehem, im shchatetem lamad lo yachaltem. if you did the shechita, if you're bringing the korban, you bring the sacrifice, why didn't you eat it? If you were not planning on eating it, why did you slaughter it in the first place? So he was saying, he was saying, either way, if you're going to do it right, do it right. If you're not going to do it right, don't do it. So he got angry. Interesting. He got angry at them. And they didn't speak back. They were quiet. Now the Medrash gives us a different, we could call it a tangent, but it's also essential limud, something that we can learn out from the story. When Moshe Rabbeinu got angry over here, so something interesting happened, which maybe we wouldn't expect. He got angry and he forgot the halacha. Aharon had to correct him. Aharon had to say, I'm sorry, Adoni Moshe, my master Moshe, you're mistaken. I know you're the one who taught me the halacha, and you're the one who knows the halacha. You heard it from Hashem directly. But we're not supposed to eat this, we're supposed to burn it. And Moshe responds and says, you're right. But why did he make the mistake in the first place, Moshe Rabbeinu? Why did he need to be corrected by his brother Aharon? It's because he got angry. When a person gets angry, they can lose information that they know, spiritual knowledge that they have. The halacha is the direction that Hashem has for us about how we should behave. When a person gets angry, they lose that connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Right? Chazal say to us, it's ki'ilu aved avodah zarah. If a person is so angry that he breaks things, so it's like he served idolatry. It means that he's disconnected from God. He's making his own opinion. I want it to be my way, not Hashem's way. I want things to be different than they are. That anger comes out of a person's ego, out of a person's gaiva. When a person's in gaiva, it causes anger. Things aren't the way they want it to be. They lose a connection from Hashem. Which means to say that the way things are is Hashem's will. And if we're fighting the way things are, we're disconnected from Hashem. And the result of that is that he forgets the halacha. There are 3 places where Moshe Rabbeinu got angry, and he forgot a halacha. The Elohein. Now I want to point out, we're going to actually see this in all these 3 examples, that Moshe Rabbeinu got angry, but he had forgotten the halacha before he got angry. It's very interesting, right? Moshe Rabbeinu forgot the halacha. He says something to Aharon and his sons, and he gets angry. He gets angry, but he had forgotten the halacha before. It almost sounds like if I get angry, then I'm going to forget the halacha. But really, I forgot the halacha first. Moshe Rabbeinu forgot the halacha first. It's worth contemplating. Let's see how it plays out in the other circumstances. There are 3 places where he got angry and he forgot the halacha. Elim b'Shabbos, b'Klimatchis, v'Ainen. In regards to Shabbos, in regards to the metal vessels, in regards to our story here, where Aharon and his sons were Einanim, they had just lost a close family member. B'Shabbos minayin, what was the story with Shabbos? Shenemar, v'ayosira anoshim yimenu v'gomer. Kemen shekad shachar lemer lehem hilchos Shabbos. Moshe Rabbeinu got angry because the Jewish people, instead of listening, he had told them that you're going to have double portions on Friday of the month, and all of the days you're going to have a single portion. So Moshe Rabbeinu got angry that they had. It's not clear to me. I'm sorry, I didn't check up this particular situation here in Shmos, but I believe that it has to do with the fact that on Shabbos they went out to collect, even though they already had enough on Friday. They had double portion, enough for Shabbos. People went out. Moshe Rabbeinu hadn't warned them that they shouldn't go out. He told them that they have a double portion on Friday, but he didn't say that it's not going to fall on Shabbos. He forgot to say it. And then on Shabbos, when they went out and they collected, he got angry at them. And only afterwards, as a result of them making the mistake, was that then the halacha revealed, and he said it over to them, that they're not allowed to go out on Shabbos to collect the mon. But how did that mistake happen? Why did he forget the halacha to tell to them in the first place? Because he got angry. Again here, he gets angry later, but he forgot before. Okay? We also find it in regards to the metal vessels. Pasuk says in Bamidbar, they came back from the war, he got angry at them. They had brought back spoils. They hadn't disposed of stuff properly that was supposed to be disposed of. He got angry at them. He came in Shekos and Salim Manu halacha. Shachach lemer lehem hilchas kli matches. He forgot to tell them. As a result, he got angry, and he forgot to tell them the halacha of metal vessels, that they need to be hagalad, need to be sent through the fire to purify them. Elazar was the one, interestingly, who, in our story, it was Aharon who gave him the heads up on what's the correct halacha, but in that story, it was Elazar HaKohen. The halacha ended up coming through Elazar HaKohen, not through Moshe. He forgot it because of his anger. Amar lehem leMoshe Rabbi Tziva v'Lilei Tziva. So I'm not sure what this means. He said, I'm not sure if this is a question or a statement. Oh, the Likutim here brings the Eshed and Cholam, who explains that he said it, he didn't want to say it in his own name. Because of his humility, he didn't want to say that he was saying over the halacha. He made it sound like Moshe Rabbeinu told him. But the truth is that Hashem gave him that revelation. Moshe Rabbeinu forgot it, and it was given back. The halacha was given back to Moshe by his nephew Elazar HaKohen. And, of course, ours, Ba'oinam Yinayin Shenemar V'iksav Al Elazar Al Itamar, he got angry in our story during the Meluim, where the carbon was burned and it wasn't eaten. He forgot that an oinen is not allowed to eat kachim. Okay, so there's this foundational thing here, a deep idea. If a person gets angry, they lose the halacha. And it seems to work retroactively. He got angry now, but he forgot it before. And to me, that would seem to indicate that when a person gets angry, this is important. And of course, when we talk about Moshe Rabbeinu, we're talking about the Anav Mikol Adam, who is the most humble person of all people in the world. But let's understand that even the most humble person in the whole world is a human being and can make a mistake and can get upset. And it's important for us to understand that because we're all human and we make mistakes and we get upset. But we have to understand where it comes from. It comes from our ego. It comes from our belief that we need to control things. Right? And I was thinking, it's like a danger in a person who's halachic, a person who's trying to do Hashem's will, trying to do it right. We can grab so hard onto trying to do it right that we can make a mistake, that we can enter into gaiva even there. And we have to be gentle with ourselves. We're trying to do what's right. Let's try to do what's right. To be gentle. Even on halacha, of course, we have to do what's right, but we have to be careful to do it with love, to serve Hashem out of love, not out of fear, not out of anger. And so when a person gets angry, it's really a result of something that's deep inside of the person, the controlling factor of the human being. And that was there before, right? We're all human. We make these mistakes. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I keep saying this thing, I know. Hashem put us in this world to make mistakes and to recognize the mistakes and to fix those mistakes. And as we'll see in the continuation of the Medrash, not only to make the mistakes and fix the mistakes, but to admit our mistakes to others. Let's see the Hemshech of the Medrash together. Vayidaber Aharon al Moshe b'dibur ona keneged k'dichsiv diber ha'ish adonai ha'aretz. Aharon answered back with a dibur, which is a little bit tough. Aaron answered back, not with disrespect, but with firmness. He said to him, Aaron said, his sons died today, and is he supposed to bring a korban today? So I bring the korban, but do I eat from the kodshim? Yes. He responded with firmness, but also with respect. Miyad darash Aaron kal v'chomer l'Moshe. Aaron developed, or he darshaned, I don't know if he developed it, but he said to him, Akal v'chomer, he said, Umam, meiser akal asr la'oinen, chatas t'chomer, in adin shey asr ba'oinen. Meiser, which is more kal, which is more lenient. A person who's an oinen, a person who someone has died for him, he's not allowed to eat it. So certainly, the korban, which is more chomer, which is more stringent, can't be eaten. Miyad, Pasuk says, Moshe Rabbeinu heard, which we pointed out earlier. Vayishma didn't need to say that he heard it, but Vayita Be'enov, he agreed with it. He said, this is correct. So why does it need to say he heard and he said it's correct? Let us just say it's correct. Moshe Rabbeinu put out a call. He sent out a message. He put on the loudspeaker and he sent it to every single person. He wanted everyone to hear. But I made a mistake in regards to this law. My brother Aharon came and taught me the correct halacha. So he got angry. He forgot the halacha. Aharon corrects him, of course, with all humility. And Moshe Rabbeinu, when he hears the humility, we could say, of Aharon, he says, I made a mistake. Not only does he say, I made a mistake to his brother and to his nephews, he puts out a call to everyone to know, I made a mistake. Yeah, I'm human. Yeah, we're here to make mistakes. And to admit our mistakes, and to admit them in front of others. You know, sometimes we want to give direction to other people. And there's a very humble way to give direction. That's to say, I made this mistake too. One way is like Aharon does. What, is this really right? Is it really correct? That's how Aharon says it. That's humble. But another humble way is to say, I made this mistake too, and admitting it. And when I admit to my mistakes, it takes the energy out of the mistake. And I'm not likely to repeat that mistake again. It's much less likely. Now the Medrash finishes off. Elazar yodas halacha v'shasak. Elazar knew this halacha, but he was quiet. Now, the result of this beautiful story, Moshe Rabbeinu gets upset. That part is not so pretty, right? Moshe Rabbeinu gets upset. He forgets the halacha. The nephews don't respond. It wasn't their problem. They didn't make the mistake or the supposed mistake. They didn't say anything back. They were just quiet. They let it pass. They didn't get upset back. Aharon is the one who responds with so much humility. And Moshe Rabbeinu, his eyes are opened. And as a result of this whole beautiful story, the humility of these incredible paragons of greatness, the result of the humility of Aharon and his sons, and Moshe Rabbeinu's response, and admitting the mistake publicly, the result was that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, that's where I want to reveal myself. You want to know my will. You guys are humble. That's where Hashem reveals. This is what you're allowed to eat and what you're not allowed to eat. It was to say to them, to the ones we were just speaking about, Elazar and Itamar. This revelation came, a new revelation about what you're allowed to eat and what you're not allowed to eat. Which has to do, perhaps, I'm not going to get into it, deeply, because I didn't have the opportunity to contemplate this completely, but the food that I eat, the animals that we eat, has to do with our inner animal nature. Right? An animal has only one nature. It's like grab, get what I need. It's instincts. The lion goes to kill the deer. And that's the animal instinct within us. And the food that I eat means that animal becomes part of me. But there's certain animals that I need to limit what I eat. I need to limit the animal within me. That was a revelation to a Moshe and an Aharon and an Elazar and Itamar, because they had limited the egoic part of themselves, the animal within them. And they had been exalted because of it. And Hashem says, that's where I want to manifest. This is where I want to reveal more opportunities to limit the animal within you. And that's through the food that we eat, which needs to be done in a way which is in consonance with Hashem's will. So, bottom line here, Moshe Rabbeinu and Aharon and Elazar and Itamar, they're human too, and they make mistakes. Can we admit our mistakes? Can we be humble in the face of someone else who makes a mistake as they talk to us? Can I be humble in the face of that mistake? Someone says to me, I did something wrong. And they're mistaken. But can I be patient with them? Elazar and Itamar were so patient. Aharon was so patient with Moshe. And Moshe responds with recognition of his mistake. It's just incredible. It's so beautiful. I want to bless you. I ask you to bless me. Hashem should help us to remember that we're here for mistakes. We're going to make those mistakes because we're human. We have an animal side, and we have a spiritual side, an angelic side. And the path in to, Hashem should help us to see that the path in to bringing that angelic side, to convert the animal side into angel, is through making those mistakes. Yeah, being human. Hashem should help us to recognize our mistakes and not kill ourselves for our mistakes, but admit our mistakes gently. And Hashem should help us to be able to be patient with other people's mistakes gently. Hashem should help us to have that humility. And Hashem should help us. And if we get angry and we forget the halacha, we forget our connection, Hashem should help us to come back to that place of connection to Him. Hashem should help us to be zoiche, to merit, that He should reveal Himself through us, through our lives, so that we can have more and more connection to Him. Thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful Shabbos.
This podcast was made possible through the gracious donations of listeners like you. For more podcasts like this, please visit www.arigoldwag.com or search on iTunes Ari Goldwag.